What is up, everybody? So WrestleNomics.com has put together a timeline of events regarding Vince McMahon and all of the allegations against him. WrestleNomics.com is linked in the description below. Make sure you go give their website a look. They did a tremendous job putting this all together. It dates back to January 28th, 2022, and we're going to go over everything here. And man, if you haven't read the filing, the complaint against Vince McMahon, and you plan to do so, be warned, it is full of absolutely horrific and disgusting things. Don't go into it thinking it's going to be a light read, because it is not. It is a very hard read. It is very, very difficult to get through. So, starting back on January 28th, 2022, Janelle Grant signs an NDA releasing Vince McMahon and WWE from liability and agreeing not to disclose information about the relationship. According to an exhibit to the complaint she later files in 2024, the agreement says McMahon will pay her $1 million within 10 days of the agreement and $500,000 on February 1st of each year beginning 2023 through 2026. March 3rd, 2022, in one of his last public appearances before news of the scandal breaks, Vince McMahon is interviewed on the Pat McAfee Show in a rare sit-down interview. On March 30th, 2022, the WWE Board of Directors receives an anonymous email from a person who says they are a friend of a former WWE paralegal, Janelle Grant, disclosing a $3 million NDA McMahon made with Grant following alleged misconduct by McMahon and WWE head of talent relations, John Laurinaitis. The board begins an investigation into the matter in April. These facts are not yet known public. They are later reported in the Wall Street Journal on June 15th, 2022. May 19th, 2022, Stephanie McMahon announces she's taking a temporary leave of absence from her role as WWE Chief Brand Officer, effective immediately. She says she's taking leave to spend more time on her family. She remains a WWE board member. WWE President and Chief Revenue Officer Nick Khan reportedly takes over most of her duties. June 3rd, 2022, Business Insider reports Stephanie McMahon was replaced in her role as part of a decision made by Vince McMahon. In the days after the Business Insider article came out, Fightful and the F4W Online both contradicted the report. June 15th, 2022, the Wall Street Journal reports Vince McMahon made a $3 million NDA with a former WWE paralegal, revealed in a 2024 lawsuit to be Janelle Grant, who had a sexual relationship with Vince McMahon and WWE's head of talent relations, John Laurinaitis. The board finds McMahon made additional NDAs with other former female employees involving misconduct claims against Vince McMahon and John Laurinaitis. In the morning of June 17th, 2022, WWE announces Vince McMahon is stepping back as CEO and chairman on an interim basis for the duration of an investigation by WWE Board of Directors. Stephanie McMahon returns to the company and becomes interim CEO and chairwoman. Vince remains head of creative. WWE advertises Vince will appear on SmackDown later that night. In the evening of June 17th, 2022, Vince McMahon opens SmackDown and does a short Welcome to SmackDown promo. He doesn't make any reference to the scandal. After he comes back through the curtain, he shouts, "F him," according to Fightful. June 20th, 2022, Vince McMahon makes an unadvertised appearance on WWE Raw. He announces John Cena will return to Raw the following week. He doesn't reference the scandal. June 27th, 2022, Vince McMahon appears on Raw again to introduce John Cena. July 3rd, 2022, immediately after WWE's Money in the Bank event in Las Vegas, Vince, Stephanie, Paul Levesque, Triple H, and Pat McAfee appear on screen in the crowd at UFC 276, also in Las Vegas. July 6, 2022, Connor Schnell resigns from the WWE board. The WWE filing announcing his exit from the board, saying he's leaving because of an increased slate of responsibilities resulting from his new expanded role at the newly formed the North Road Company. Schell's decision to resign is not due to any dispute or disagreement with the company. It's a management its management, or any matter relating to the company's operations, policies, or practices, according to a WWE filing on July 6, 2022. July 8, 2022, a second article from the Wall Street Journal reports Vince McMahon paid $12 million for NDAs across 16 years to 4 women who worked for WWE. As reported in June, McMahon agreed to pay $3 million to a former paralegal, Janelle Grant, and McMahon paid $7.5 million to a former wrestler in 2018. The wrestler alleges she was coerced to give McMahon oral sex, and when she rejected his subsequent advances, she was demoted and later her contract wasn't renewed in 2005. The NDA was made in 2018. The report also reveals 3 other NDAs. A WWE contractor came to the company with unsolicited nude photos of McMahon that he sent her and alleged he sexually harassed her at work. McMahon agreed to a $1 million with the contractor in 2008. In 2006, McMahon agreed to another $1 million NDA with a former manager who worked at WWE for 10 years before Vince McMahon allegedly started a sexual relationship with her. An NDA made in 2012 with a WWE employee who made misconduct claims against John Laurinaitis was reached for $1.5 million. The employee alleged that she and Laurinaitis had an affair, and he demoted her after she ended the relationship. Laurinaitis himself was demoted by WWE around the time the NDA was agreed to. July 18th, 2022, Titus O'Neil opens Raw in a conspicuous segment talking about his role as WWE brand ambassador. He says WWE provides a safe haven regardless of race, nationality, or economic status. July 22nd, in the morning, WWE press release titled Paul Triple H Levesque is back announces Levesque is resuming his position as EVP of Talent Relations, seemingly taking over the duties of John Laurinaitis, who was out on administrative leave. In the afternoon of July 22nd, 2022, Vince McMahon announces his retirement from all roles. He remains the controlling shareholder of the company. Stephanie McMahon and Nick Khan are named co-CEOs of WWE. Vince says in a statement, "As I approach 77 years old, I feel it's time for me to retire as chairman and CEO of WWE. I am extremely confident in the continued success, and I leave the company in the capable hands of an extraordinary group of superstars, employees, and executives. In particular, both chairwoman and co-CEO Stephanie McMahon and co-CEO Nick Khan. As the majority shareholder, I will continue to support WWE in any way I can." I'm pretty sure the best way you could have supported WWE is to not do any of those things allegedly and step away once everything came out and stepped away. In the evening of July 22nd, 2022, at the SmackDown taping later that night, Brock Lesnar reportedly left the venue and was later convinced to return and appear on the program, according to multiple sources. Stephanie McMahon opens SmackDown by announcing Vince's retirement and leads the crowd in thanking him. July 25th, 2022, a WWE filing reports the company has received and may receive in the future regulatory and investigative and enforcement inquiries, subpoenas, and demands arising from, related to, or in connection with these matters. Possibly related, the Wall Street Journal reports the SEC and federal prosecutors are investigating Vince's NDA payments, which contributed to his decision to permanently resign from all roles at WWE. August 8th, 2022, PWI Insider reports John Laurinaitis was fired from WWE. August 9th, 2022, WWE discloses the company found 2 additional payments totaling $5 million made by Vince McMahon, which should have been recorded as company expenses but weren't. WWE says these payments weren't related to allegations that led the board to start its investigation into sexual misconduct at the company. August 17th, 2022, the Wall Street Journal confirms our analysis that the additional $5 million in unrecorded expenses reported on August 9th were to the Trump Foundation in exchange for Donald Trump's appearances at WrestleMania in 2007 and 2 appearances on Raw in 2009. Those payments joined the NDA payments to women to total just over $17 million. That should have been recorded by company expenses by WWE because they were intended to benefit the company regardless of whether Vince used personal funds for those payments. September 15th, 2022. Joellen Lyons Dillon and Michelle McKenna are added to the WWE board. On the same day, Eric Ayers, Nardina resigns from the WWE board due to her focus on Barstool Sports, where she was serving as CEO following its recent acquisition by Penn Entertainment. Like Shell's exit, the WWE filing reported that Ayer's decision to leave the board was not due to any dispute or disagreement with the company, its management, or any matter related to the company's operations, policies, or practices. On November 2nd, 2022, WWE reports quarterly earnings and discloses a special committee investigation into allegations of sexual misconduct by Vince McMahon, John Laurinaitis, and in the company culture has concluded. On November the 3rd, 2022, a lawyer for Rita Chatterton sends Vince McMahon's lawyer, Jerry McDevitt, a letter demanding $11.75 million in damages for allegedly raping her in 1986. Chatterton originally went public with her claim in 1992, reported later in the Wall Street Journal in December 13th, 2022. November 2022, specific date unknown. A lawyer for a spa manager sends Vince McMahon's lawyer, Jerry McDevitt, an email claiming McMahon assaulted her in 2011 at a California resort. December 13th, 2022, the Wall Street Journal reports Vince McMahon has told people that he intends to make a comeback at WWE. According to people familiar with his comments, he said that he received bad advice from people close to him to step down and that he now believes the allegations and investigations would have blown over had he stayed. December 20th, 2022, Vince McMahon writes a letter to the WWE board saying he intends to return to the company and explore a sale or merger, coinciding with the upcoming media rights renewal. He writes, "My retirement was intended to give the special committee, its intended counsel, and the rest of the board time and space needed to understand and respond to the allegations. We must unify the company's decision-making regarding these two interconnected initiatives to fully capitalize on this unique opportunity. It is critical for me to rejoin the board as executive chairman to work alongside our management team in leading the exploration of strategic alternatives and media rights negotiations, and it's necessary to fulfill my commitment to doing what is best for WWE." Disclosed in a WWE filing on January 5th, 2023, December 27th, 2022. WWE board writes an email to Vince McMahon in response to his letter telling him the board members are in unanimous agreement that he shouldn't return to WWE. Membership at this time includes executive members who are also full-time WWE employees, Nick Khan, Stephanie McMahon, and Triple H, as well as independent members who are not full-time WWE employees. The board says they have a shareholder demand letter urging them to sue Vince, but they will sign an agreement not to sue if he agrees to not return to the company and repay the money for the cost of the investigation. The board collectively writes, "Although we welcome your participation in the launch of a strategic alternatives review process, it is also our unanimous view that your return to the company at this time, while a government investigation into your conduct by the U.S. Attorney's Office and SEC are still pending, would not be prudent from a shareholder value perspective. The determination is based on a variety of factors, including non-public information that the board has become aware of, and the risks to company and its shareholders of placing a greater spotlight on these issues." December 31st, 2022, Vince McMahon responds to the board email, also in writing, saying he won't approve of any company Man, this guy just wouldn't go away. Won't approve any company transaction or media rights deal unless he returns to WWE. It is surprising that you did not address what I had sought to make clear in my letter, namely that we have a unique but narrow window of opportunity to maximize shareholder value. The only way to fully capture that opportunity is by having me, the company founder and controlling shareholder, return as executive chairman at this critical time. I would like to be clear that unless I have direct involvement and input as executive chairman from the outset, I will not be able to support or approve any media rights deal or strategic transaction. January 5th, 2023, using his controlling voting power in WWE through an instrument called written consent, Vince McMahon elects himself and former WWE co-presidents George Barrows and Michelle Wilson onto the WWE's board of directors. To make room, he removes independent directors Joe Lyons Dillon, Jeffrey Speed, and Alex Wexler. McMahon holds about 36% of all WWE shares, but about 80% of the voting power because of his Class B preferred super shares. He holds that give each one of his shares 10 votes, while Class A shares just get 1 vote per share. January 6, 2023, independent members of the WWE's board resigned. WWE also announces the company will pursue strategic alternatives, meaning it will explore selling the company, merger, or going private. Stephanie McMahon, Nick Khan, and Frank Riddick hold an all-staff meeting to explain Vince's return and the company's plan to explore a company transaction. Stephanie tells employees this is an exciting time. It shouldn't be a scary time. It's an exciting time for WWE. Our founder is back on board and is going to help lead this process. So just 4 days later, January 10th, 2023, Stephanie McMahon permanently resigns as CEO of WWE and as chairwoman of the company's board of directors. From a portion of her parting message on social media, our founder, Vince McMahon, has returned as executive chair and is leading an exciting process regarding strategic alternatives, and with Nick Khan's leadership and Triple H as chief content officer, I am confident WWE is in the perfect place to continue to provide unparalleled creative content and drive maximum value for its shareholders. WWE is in such a strong position that I have decided to return to my leave and take it one step further with my official resignation. January 19th, 2023, the Wall Street Journal reports Vince McMahon and Rita Chatterton have agreed to a multi-million-dollar settlement for an amount less than the $11.75 million she was asking. March 29th, 2023, a new employment contract is filed with the SEC for Vince McMahon, making him an employee again retroactively beginning on January 9th, 2023. The employment contract promises him that if there is a company transaction is closed that results in a change of control of WWE, he will get $2.4 million lump sum, plus his incentive bonus would be doubled and paid up front. April 3rd, 2023. This was the morning after WrestleMania, I believe. Endeavor, parent company of the UFC and WWE, announced that WWE and UFC will merge. The agreement was finalized the day prior. It's an all-stock deal, giving WWE shareholders 49% of the new company and Endeavor getting 51%. Endeavor also gets control and 10-to-1 voting power per share for McMahon family members will come to an end. Vince will own 16% of the new company and control the same percentage of voting power. Endeavor CEO Ari Emanuel will also serve as CEO of the new company, later to be named TKO, and Vince McMahon will serve as executive chairman, the same title he holds currently with WWE. McMahon and Ari appear together for an interview on CNBC. Ari affirms, "Oh my God, yes, he wanted McMahon to remain with the company as part of the merger agreement." McMahon says the deal absolutely still have happened if not for the scandal. Asked if he has any regrets, McMahon says, "Well, let me just say I've made mistakes. Obviously, both personally and professionally, through my 50-year career. I've owned up to every single one of them and moved on." April 3rd, 2023, in the evening, Vince McMahon, who hasn't frequently attended TV since July 2022, is at the night's Monday Night Raw and makes heavy changes to the first TV taping following WrestleMania. He produces the show throughout the night, as he did before his resignation. Reportedly, this negatively affects talent morale. July 17th, 2023, federal law enforcement agents execute a search warrant and serve a federal grand jury subpoena on Vince McMahon. According to WWE's quarterly earning reports published on August 2nd, no charges are pressed against him. July 21st, 2023, Vince McMahon begins medical leave to have spinal surgery, according to the same earnings report disclosed on August 2nd, 2023. Regarding the federal investigation, Vince McMahon provides the comment, I have always denied any intentional wrongdoing and continue to do so. I am confident that the government's investigation will be resolved without any findings of wrongdoing. WWE says the company believes the subpoena and search warrant are a continuation of the investigation that commenced last summer. WWE has cooperated throughout and fully understands and respects the government's need to complete the process. September 12th, 2023, the merger closes, officially unifying WWE and UFC as a publicly newly traded company, TKO. On September 13th, 2023, TKO announces a special one-time dividend of $3.86 per share, scheduled to be paid on September 29th, 2023. Vince McMahon holds 28,835,207 shares at the time, therefore is due to receive a dividend payment of $111.3 million. September 20th, 2023, former WWE board member tells the LA Times that Vince McMahon's return wasn't aligned with my way of seeing what governance is, explaining that his resignation from the board earlier in the year, this was a misalignment with what my values are. September 21st, 2023, WWE and NBC Universal announce a new deal to move SmackDown to the USA Network in the fall of 2024. The 5-year deal is reportedly worth an average of $287 million per year, a 40% increase from the current deal with Fox for the same rights. November 7th, 2023. WWE and the CW announce a new TV deal broadcast with WWE NXT in beginning the fall of 2024. The 5-year deal is reportedly worth about $25 million per year, up 70% from the $15 million for the same rights NBC Universal to air the show on the USA Network. November 9th, 2023, TKO announces Vince McMahon will sell 8.4 million shares in TKO when the transaction is completed a few days later. He sells the shares for an average of $76.41 per share. He receives net proceeds of $641.8 million. After their transaction, he holds 20,282,948 TKO shares, about 12% of all company stock. Before the sale, he held about 16 of TKO. January 23rd, 2024, TKO announces Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson has been added to the company's board of directors. On the same day, Netflix and WWE announce a 10-year deal that includes U.S. rights to WWE Raw, as well as numerous international broadcast rights to WWE content. The deal is worth an average of $500 million per year. The term is for 10 years with an option at 5 years for Netflix to cancel, as well as an option for Netflix to extend the 10-year deal out to 20 years. January 25th, 2024, Janelle Grant files a lawsuit in federal court in Connecticut against Vince McMahon, former WWE executive John Laurinaitis, and WWE. She accuses McMahon of trafficking and seeks to have the court declare her NDA, which she signed in January 2022, unenforceable, due to McMahon discontinuing payments agreed to in accordance with the Speak Out Act and because of overly broad language. The complaint continues numerous graphic allegations of assault by McMahon and Laurinaitis in incidents that occurred from 2019 to 2022, some of which are said to have occurred at WWE headquarters. She says McMahon used her sexually as part of a contract negotiation with a WWE talent described in the lawsuit as a former UFC champion, but not specifically named. The Wall Street Journal reports that talent referenced is Brock Lesnar. Grant claims multiple WWE executives knew about the abuse she was subjected to and did nothing to intervene. She says she wasn't interviewed and the documents weren't requested from her for the board's investigation, despite her expressing she was willing to cooperate. Former board member Jeffrey Speed tells the New York Times later that day, I remain confident in our investigation, which included outreach to Janelle Grant and engagement with her lawyer. TKO provides the statement. While this matter predates our TKO executive team's tenure at the company, we take Janelle Grant's horrific allegations very seriously and are addressing the matter internally. Vince McMahon does not control TKO, nor does he oversee the day-to-day operation of WWE. A spokesperson for Vince McMahon gives a statement saying the lawsuit is repellent with lies, obscene made-up instances that never occurred, and a vindictive distortion of the truth. He will vigorously defend himself. January 26, 2024, late afternoon, Slim Jim confirms they're withdrawing as the presenting sponsor of the Royal Rumble. In the evening of January 26, 2024, Vince McMahon resigns, according to an all-staff email from WWE President Nick Khan. Nick Khan writes, "I want to inform you that Vince McMahon has tendered his resignation from his position as TKO Executive Chairman and on the TKO Board of Directors. He will no longer have a role with TKO Group Holdings or WWE. A McMahon spokesperson provides an update from him. I stand by my prior statement that Janelle Grant's lawsuit is repellent with lies, obscene made-up instances that never occurred, and is a vindictive distortion of the truth. I tend to vigorously defend myself against these baseless accusations and look forward to clearing my name. However, out of respect for the WWE Universe and the extraordinary TKO business and its board members and shareholders, partners and constituents, and all the employees and superstars who helped make WWE into the global leader it is today, I've decided to resign from my executive chairman and the TKO Board of Directors effective immediately." January 27th, 2024, Slim Jim resumes the participation as a sponsor of the WWE Royal Rumble. Following the Royal Rumble, Triple H appears at the usual post-show press conference and takes questions from the media. He declines to say what prior knowledge he had of any of the new allegations raised by Janelle Grant. When asked what the company is doing to ensure people in the WWE can't take advantage of subsidiaries, he says everything possible, but doesn't get into specifics. When asked if he read the lawsuit, he says he hasn't. He wishes to focus on the positive news of the new Netflix deal and the success of that night's event. On January 29th, 2024, John Laurinaitis, who is the stepfather to former WWE superstar the Bella Twins, the twin sisters make a public statement. "We are shocked and disheartened with the recent allegations against members of the WWE. It has been a lot to process since we found out this past week, just as you all did. This is something we don't stand for or condone from anyone, no matter who they are. We want all women to feel safe and supported in the workplace and in their everyday lives." February 1st, 2024, John Laurinaitis' lawyers, this was yesterday, Johnny Ace's lawyers tell Vice News that Laurinaitis is a victim too. John Laurinaitis denies the allegations in the misguided complaint and will be vigorously defending these charges in court, not the media, like the plaintiff, Janelle Grant. John Laurinaitis is a victim in this case, not a predator. The truth will come out. Count how many times in the complaint Vince McMahon exerts control over both of them. What do you think? What do you think about all of this stuff? Vince McMahon, John Laurinaitis, Brock Lesnar, and who else allegedly knew? Just crazy. Let me know what you think. Leave some comments below. Hope you're having a good day, and I will see you again soon.